academic live meeting. This meeting is being recorded by the host or okay?
Yeah.
Got it.
Is that okay?
Okay. Is okay for you?
Yes, absolutely.
So you will ask to me some question in interview, okay? It's better.
Yeah. Well, so I'm just going to go slow. If you have any questions, let me know. I will just do like a brief introduction. So, hi everybody, this is Zehra Shalwani. As you know, since the past couple of months, we have been running a podcast series where we aim to bring dialogue and discussion on various issues related to tourism, handicrafts, culture, archaeology, gastronomy, or simply, the civilizational perspectives that come into play when it comes to Pakistan, given the beautiful diversity we have in South Asia. So today we have our esteemed guest, whom I'm highly thankful for her contribution and her time, Alessandra. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct, Alessandra.
Exactly. Alessandra, but it's okay, Alessandra. In Pakistan, everybody call me Sandra.
Sandra. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. So I used to have one of our admin colleagues when I was studying in London. Her name is also Sandra. So, your name reminds me of her. And I have invited Sandra to this talk so she can share her perspective of what her great-grandfather experienced, saw, and shared with his grandchildren about his voyage, about his travelogue to Karachi. So without further ado, let's just dive in straight into what Sandra has to contribute and to say regarding her grandfather's travelogues to Pakistan. So
it's not the grandfather. Sorry.
No,
it's
no,
not the grandfather,
okay.
but the grandfather.
Ah, okay. Wow.
Yes, because I was born in 45, and my grandfather in the second part of 1980, in the 19th century. Before he was he died at the beginning of the 20th century, but he was a sailor. He was sailing when he was sorry for the dog.
That's okay.
This is life. This is life.
Absolutely.
Shake it. And so grandfather.
Wow.
Okay, so there are tales and history by my mother and my grandmother, who was the daughter of this boss of the sailors of this company of shipping. Okay, so
wonderful. So your great-grandfather, was he a sailor, correct?
Sailor, he was a boss of the sailors of a company of shipping from Trieste, the most important port of Habsburg emperors, Habsburg, Vienna, Austria. In Europe, there was a company of England,
Okay.
And it was shipping from London. The other port of the East Europe and Europe was Trieste, because it was the port of Vienna. Understand? Do you understand? Because Vienna was the capital of empire as Habsburg Empire. And in that century, and the Habsburg Empire was in competition with London, with the Kingdom of United Kingdom. So the shipping, the company of shipping was in London and in Trieste. You understand? The empire of Vienna included Austria, some part of Yugoslavia, Hungary, and Czechoslovakia, many countries, you know. But with the First World War, they lost everything, and the empire break up. The empire break up. Okay.
Okay.
This is the history of the politics of geopolitics story.
Yes.
To understand just a little.
Yeah.
I will tell you a micro story of a family.
Sure. So while you grew up, what exactly did your parents tell you about their great-grandfather's voyage before World War I and World War II?
Yes, you know, the tales of these sailors from Trieste to Japan, you know, after Suez. But now this is a proof. I am not in the interview now, my dear.
No, you are. I can hear you.
Yes, but this is a proof, or this is the interview? I ask you. This is we are, because our interview begin at 9 o'clock,
yes.
or not?
Yes, 9
okay,
o'clock.
okay.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Yes. And I want to say to you that it was a legendary tales, you know, by my grandmother, named Julia, and she was spoken very much about this father, who was a sailor for 8 months in the year, because he was, after the opening of Suez Canal, no, that cut Africa from Asia, cut the possibility, because Africa and Asia was have the Nilo, but you can go sailing by Nilo. But some assurance company decided to cut the part between Egypt and Asia, okay? And so the ships could begin this legendary come si dice, way by sailing from Trieste, Portoside, okay, Aden, from Aden, Persian Gulf, and Karachi. Karachi was in the middle, very important Karachi, and he spoke about the big Karachi, a beautiful town, beautiful sound, beautiful sailors, and so on. After Karachi, they went to Bombay to Cochin, okay, Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, Cochin, and so on. And I say to you, Calcutta, Singapore, Hong Kong, Canton, Shanghai, Tokyo, Kobe, Osaka, okay? But Karachi was in the middle, and they were very happy to enter in the port of Karachi, because the people were smiling, and the beautiful, his tales was about the very fun and very beautiful place, you know, because the sailors go down for food, for silk, and so on, and they enjoy very much that town, and the people also, you know, many peoples, but very smiling people and very kind people also. I was a little girl when I had these tales.
Wonderful. That's amazing. Apart from welcoming nature of the people in Karachi, what else do you think, is something that, is significant, something that you still remember from those stories when you were growing up?
Yes, this is a very important question. You know, I was a little baby when my grandmother was spoke about this travels, you know. And I think that now and all my life, I became a traveler for this reason, because my grandmother have a cupboard with many beautiful shawls and ceramic and ventagli, how do you say? For windy. And
hand fans, like
hand
small
fans.
fans. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
hand
yeah.
fans, beautiful cups, beautiful. And she said, these are the gifts from Karachi and other part of Asia that my father, your grandfather, took us as gifts because they bought many things by these beautiful markets. And here also spices, you know. So in my family, my grandmother could cook with not how your spices. You understand? Yes. And for me, it was beautiful. So I was dreaming in my life to go. And before to arrive in Pakistan 5 years ago, first time, I travel a lot in India, in Africa, and also thinking about these tales by my grandmother. But all my family was shippers, you know, maternal family. Paternal was in the army and engineer. You know. I am psychoanalyst, and I studied in London and the London Economic School because I am psychiatric social work and psychoanalyst, studied in London, acted in clinic with Anna Freud, but first of all, I am a traveler. I can work, but I have 1 month in my life always, also with my 2 husbands, to travel a lot in the world. And now my world is Asia. And I feel myself a little bit, my second country now is Pakistan. You know why? I think that is a link between my roots and my ancestors to me, to my soul. And I found all very nice people, women, men, my great company, travel company of Liver Khan, Nanga Parbat Adventure. But I am interested in them because they are also aims in social work with the poor people in the Nanga Parbat Adventure and the primary school and so on. Okay?
Very true.
Do you understand my English? Do you understand my English?
I do. I perfectly do. And sometimes, Sandra, you know, it's not about the language. It's about that, you know, that connection, that mutual feeling that people have regarding, you know, love for traveling, love for culture, love for shared history.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's so heartening to, you know, see you speak about Pakistan being your second home, you hearing tales, and then you deciding that I have to travel in my life as well, and taking out time every year, like a month, dedicated to traveling is a commitment. Is a commitment, and it speaks about your love for adventure, your love for exploring. And I think this is one of those reasons why you're wearing a cap from the Hunza Valley that women in our part of the world wear. And this shows your respect for multiculturalism, for pluralism,
Absolutely.
right? And I see some books on Islamic architecture, on Pakistan, you know, at the on the back, and this shows that dedication. So, and with that, oh, who's the author, by the way?
I
Country
bought
guide.
this one
Ah,
many years
okay,
ago. I have many,
okay.
and also, you know,
You are an avid reader, I
my
have
map
to
is
say.
this.
Oh, wow. Roadmap. Okay. Interesting. So,
I hope to come back in next. Now I decided
ITB?
to come back to Himalaya, Himalaya and Karakorum next September, because I have 1 month of holiday in summer.
Okay.
And 15 days and 1 month in winter holiday. So in September I will come back to Himalaya, because I never was in Skardu and Kailash Valley. Never been there. I want to visit. Yeah, yes. I love the colors, the animist group, also from the point of view of anthropology.
Yes.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
But what I have to say to you that I love the culture of Pakistan without any idealization, okay? Because we are not an idealization. Tell me the
idealistic. Yeah.
Idealistic vision, because it's Islam country, but in Karachi there is a big church, Anglican church, and the respect for that area. And also in Gilgit, I found another Christian church, but also Hindu peoples. I found there in Baluchistan, I found a valley with a beautiful, and also Buddhism, Indus civilization, in every part of the world that are integralism and so on. But I like the open mind of these people. I'm thinking to the history of Alexander the Great and the Mangara art that is unbelievable art. And also with you in Berlin, I have immediately sympathy for you, because you have a book of Mohenjo-Daro. And you are a publisher. This is a great thing,
And about to be a publisher. I haven't published anything yet. I have participated and presented my academic papers in conferences, but I haven't published anything yet, but I have to. It's part of our research library. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And the next, I hope to come back to Karachi next December 23 and 24, because I want to visit for second time Baluchistan. It's too strong. Is for me the Princess of Hope. It was one of the best place I saw in my life. The Sphinx, the Sphinx. I have an hypothesis also, but maybe this is a magic hypothesis, that Egyptian people with their ships came there, saw the Sphinx, and they could project to have a big monument like that Sphinx near of the beautiful land. And also, another part of Karachi, very close to Karachi, is the volcano, the white volcano on the sea. It is amazing. In every part of the world I saw in a so amazing place. Without speaking about the people of Karachi, and also the village of Baluchistan, everybody kind, everybody like a lord. Every person is a lord. Do you understand what I mean?
Absolutely, Sandra. I totally agree with whatever you have said so far regarding so many different cultures and religions, and even religious denominations within a certain religion existing. There is so much cultural as well as religious diversity in Pakistan. So I returned. So there's a district in Sindh called Mirpur Khas, and I returned from there like day before yesterday. And you know, there is a place where you have a Hindu temple, a mandir. You have a church. You have a Shia, worship place, Imam Barga, we call it.
Beautiful.
We have a boss that belongs to the Sunni school of thought, okay, and it's together, and people are living in harmony, and it's so beautiful. And I asked them, I was like, is there any conflict or is there any problem that arises because of these differences in, you know, religious thoughts and belief systems? And they were like, no,
absolutely,
we live like this. And it was so heartening for me. It was absolutely, because it was my first time in Mirpur Khas district, and it was absolutely amazing. And just to add on, you mentioned about the mud volcano. You know, when you go to Balochistan on this Makran coastal highway, you will also see a Hinglaj Mata Mandir, which is very, very old. On the way to Princess of Hope and the Sphinx. And your theory about Egyptian people coming and seeing the Sphinx and perhaps taking this idea back to Egypt might be true. It could be, because in these areas in Balochistan, Mohenjo-daro in Sindh, Mehergarh in Balochistan, are Indus Valley civilization sites, right? And historically speaking, the Egyptian civilization and the Indus Valley civilization existed, during the same time periods. And these Indus Valley crafts that I also put on my stall. Remember the Indus seals? Those the red brick one that I put on the stall, the Indus seals, were extracted from these Indus sites in Pakistan, as well as in Egyptian diggings as well. So this proves trade. This proves that it was used as probably a stamp or probably as a currency, but it definitely proves that there was an exchange of goods and services and people happening between Egypt and what is now called Pakistan. Right?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
You remind me too, because when I was reflecting about that journey and the Princess of Hope, the Sphinx and the Father, you know, they are three figures of the nature, of course, but the man construct always some legendary stories and legend, you know, about gods, on the many gods and so on. I thought to psychoanalysis, because it is my job, and to write a essay about Oedip complex. You know what is Oedip complex? When Freud, the doctor scientist of Vienna, discovered, and I did a lesson to Poeta, to the Faculty of Psychology. For instance, it was because I met a very interesting man who was the chair of Baluchistan cricket game, you know, but in Karachi, in Hotel Karachi. And he said very kindly, come please in my table, because I was looking for a place, and all the places of my hotel was empty, was occupied. And he said, please come here. And he was very kind, and he asked me, his name is Shaib Khan, and he asked me what I was doing. I say, I'm a traveler because I love very much Pakistan and Karachi. And he say, I am going to Baluchistan, to Quetta, and see all the I am very modestly, very humble. He said, I am the head of cricket of Baluchi. And he introduced me about the cricket. I say that I saw by TV there is a cricket game in Karachi. And he said, you can go. And I went, my dear friend, to Karachi, and I discovered the people and the beautiful cricket. I didn't understand anything, but it was a game between Pakistan and New Zealand, you know. And I saw the women very, very, but when I arrived in Quetta, he said to me, please, my sister, who is academic in Karachi, in Buitam's University, decide to know you, and she is available to know you, to stay with you one day. And so we became friends. And she said, do you want to visit my university? Wow, yes, because I was academic at the University of Psychology at the University of Padua in Italy. And so I was beautiful university and beautiful people, but also very modest, not academic like an emperor or king. And they said, could you, as a psychoanalyst, give us tomorrow a lesson about your subject? And I said to them, why not? And so we organized, and I have a little beautiful experience, my dear friend. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful man, very beautiful woman, very interested and in the science, and with a beautiful English, and a beautiful campus, like the campus I saw in England, and of course in the United States, where I studied in Pennsylvania University. So more and more I fell in love with Pakistan. You know, there are many prejudices in Europe. When I say that I'm coming back to Pakistan, they say, oh, war, Taliban, Afghanistan. And I say with calm, you are very ignorant, no? But also intellectual people, because they are the human in Europe are very Europe-centric, you know, some with some Islamophobia, okay? And I am Jewish, I know what is anti-Semitism, and you know that I studied the story, and in Lahore, where there was a very big community of Jewish people, and I am laicist. I'm a laicist. And now, when it was a war, terrible war for independence, of course, many dead from the part and the other, and the Jews have to go to India and the other parts of Europe, in Lahore. But now, one merchant decide to stay there, and he is recognized also by the governor, by Imran Khan, that the first wife was Jewish, you know. First wife, Jemima, she was a Jewish family of London. But I met also in London Mr. Khan, the mayor of London. That is very beloved of my British. I met him. Was very clever, very nice. And his father was a driver of Islamabad. I know that, you know. So I am a testimonial of Pakistani in the world, but against also prejudice, you know, against prejudice.
So, Sandra, you know, this prejudice exists, unfortunately, and there are many factors that lead to this prejudice. But tell me something, when these travelogues, are these travelogues written of, you know, your great-grandfathers? Are they read by people? Or are they captured somewhere where, you know, the young people can refer to? or make sense of if they revisit history? Is it recorded?
Recorded
Yeah. I
in,
mean,
in
is it written in some book, or for example, right
no,
now I'm
no, no,
recording
no.
your
No,
no?
no, no.
Okay.
The first time you can we can write together about this story.
Sure.
Yes, because the micro story and also the history in the universities now is not the date of the war, the date of the big story of the monarchy of the king, but of the families,
Yeah.
And this is
Common people.
exactly common people. This is a micro history, not macro history. And so all this micro history makes a history of the society and of the movement of the world. I feel myself citizen of the world.
I feel the same. Yeah.
And this
Exact
is
same.
a miracle. But
Yeah.
like me and you, there are many,
Yes.
because I found in Pakistan many citizens of the world.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very
Not
true.
so in Italy. It's not so
Really?
in Italy. No, no. Not now we have a terrible prime minister.
Okay.
Is
I'm
like
really
the prime
sorry.
minister of India. You understand?
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
But we are in democracy. We hope, and I work also as a socialist for the social party. Well, not conservative, but liberal.
Mm.
And also also conservative in England, the United Kingdom, with Brexit and so on. They
Yeah.
are a little bit mad, and also the war in Ukraine. And we hope for the peace in the world with and so on. And traveling, I think the travelers are testimonial and ambassador of peace.
Absolutely. They are indeed. And they are very cosmopolitan in their nature as well. Like they can connect with people. They don't hold stereotypes. They don't judge people. For example, I used to be very judgmental when I was growing up, right?
Absolutely.
I accepted whatever stereotypes I grew up with. But when I started traveling, I became more broad-minded. I challenged my own stereotypes, and I became more humanitarian as compared to sticking myself to a certain identity. Like I don't call myself a feminist. I don't call myself
No,
anything of these these worldly labors that people attach to me. Humanitarian, simple, straightforward.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I congratulate with you for that, because all the young people in the world, like you, open mind, are thinking about human being,
Mm.
climate change, okay, and the traveling. I have a little example. I have 2 degrees, one in social work, another one in psychology, and very many masters and experience in many clinics. But my travels in my life were my 1,000 of degree, because meeting people, different customs, different clothes, different food, different experience, spices. My grandfather spoke about this different population with admiration, not with worry. You understand? Not with a superior hand, but the traveler always in the world were the ambassador, also the poor people, of peace and curiosity for the other, a respect for the other people, different people of where you are birth and our birth, no, and our land. So nationalists and populists say this is my land, is superior. Okay, we are saying we are 2 eyes, one nose, one mouth, one brain, and all are together. not different color, but human being is like that. And we have to respect, to love, you know. I like to no borders. I like no border. But this is a legend. Like, you know, the song of John Lennon, of one of the Beatles, who wrote Imagine a land without borders, but this is important. But also, I say to you that my travel agent, my very good friend, Liver Khan, brought me to the of India and Pak, and the other, hello, and I went also to the border. I went and no good connection.
Yeah, let's rejoin
no
this link. Yeah,
good connection. Yes, do you understand me?
Yes, I do. We can rejoin this link, I think.
Zira?
Yeah. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Now I want to share with you one very important experience